Over 1,000 years ago, the cruel tyrants came to the world of Solfrey. Their evil, unknown to these lands, had to be brought from a different, faraway plane. And soon enough, they changed everything about this good earth, seeping their cruelty, their malice, and their creations into the very soil. But they didn't come alone. From that other world, they brought what to them was the spoils of war. Hundreds of thousands of unfortunate souls of every race and every kind, intelligent or not. These creatures would soon become the lower social strata in an empire of cruel contraptions and malicious expansion. The people suffered greatly under them. Not all of them took it laying down. Many of the people attempted escape. Many of them, over the centuries, tried their best to free themselves, but dispossessed, under constant vigilance, and with an incredibly unequal share of power and materiel, the oppressed could do little else but to hope for the occasional escapee, running away from a cold that would eventually catch up to them. To aid them in their dark deeds, the Cold Ones make their spawn from the clay of their very servants, with a combination of crude sciences and ghastly magics, and they gave them a cruel but apt name: Scourges. These people, more beasts than folk, obeyed their masters in whatever cruel desires they might have once had. No master had ever had a more loyal and vicious dog. They would beset them on those who escaped, and made good examples of those who they caught. But hope doesn't die for long. You can't brute force a people to see their children be ground down to paste over the generations. Eventually, something gave out. Within the bowels of the slave pens and the darkened dungeons, the peoples yearned for freedom. And in their freedom, their answer came to them in the form of magic. Keeping it a secret, spreading it across their fellows, they trained and taught in secret and bought their time. All that they would need to bring the fight to the enemy was a small hope. And hope came in the shape of the gallant kings of the skies, dragons. The evil of the Cold Ones had been such that the dragons had been pursuing them since before their time. It was the truth that the cruel masters had been prey before they were predators. The royal beasts of noble instinct and ken aligned themselves with the oppressed, and together they overthrew, fought back, and absconded their cruel imperators. Their army shattered, the scourges that remained scattered to the winds, to die hopeless deaths without their dark masters. After the war was won, no one cheered, as the freedom which was attained had come at a steep cost, and all survivors could do was to move on with their lives, to escape from the cold aftermath of their oppressors, and to try to live peaceful new lives, lives in their newfound liberty. Many nations and kingdoms, republics and theocracies would arise in the ashes of the cruel empire, but none more akin to the principles of absolute liberty as those seen by the many peoples of the Golden Coast. This is the Phantasm Frontier, where anything can happen. And this story might just be one of such cases.